Okay, we are live. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Please put a 1 in the chat. Good news. It seems Charlotte has been found safe. That is amazing. Also with me is my co-host Steve from True Crime Web. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, sir. I'm glad to be here and that we have circumstances that have at least led to where we're at, and she's been found alive. That's
Yes,
critical.
yes. It's amazing news. I mean, literally, you just called me 10, 15 minutes ago. I was putting my thing together here and was just kind of in the zone. And I hadn't checked the update for about 30 minutes. And then I clicked over to my chat, because I can see people in the chat before the live show. And I started seeing some people saying found safe. And sometimes that happens when we cover some of these cases. And it's a troll. Sometimes you get a troll in there, so it's like I can't take that, uh, too much value. But yeah, great news. They found her. So what I'm going to do is, so I don't lose this, is I found a live feed that actually played like the breaking news updates. So I'm just going to go ahead and go right into that right now, and then we'll get kind of caught up on everything. Does that sound good, buddy?
Absolutely, sir.
All right. So I have not seen this. This is still supposedly going live. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, guys. If you've seen it, I apologize, but I have not. I'm sure maybe a lot have not either. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. I think this is right when they found out. Oh, let me know how the volume. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, but let me know in the chat how the volume is on this. I can always turn it up.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, my apologies. I know what I did wrong. Man, do I miss heaven. All right, we'll fix that. So we're going to do share screen one more time. Window. This one. There we go. Share. Okay, now you should be able to hear it. Let me know, Steve. Can you hear it?
No. Still
You
nothing.
can't. You can't hear it?
Nope. No volume.
Okay. Try this again. Share screen. Oh, we're gonna. Then it's got to be Chrome tab. Okay. Try this. Let's. All right. Third time's a charm. Here we go.
News from what we believe and what we've been told at this
Yes, it's low, but I hear it.
Okay. All right. I had it down.
Kristen, walk us through what you know.
All right. Here we go.
Right. Hey there, Tom. And this is
There you go.
breaking right now and has been happening over the past 20 minutes or so. The state police have now confirmed that Charlotte was found alive, that they do have a suspect in custody. It was about 20 minutes ago. We noticed a sheriff's car come peeling out of the state park here where they have been staging a lot of their operations. And then family members arrived here in several different pickup trucks and then followed in the direction that the car had gone in. And that's when we learned from state police just this incredible ending to this story that she had been found alive. She was missing for about 48 hours. You kind of laid out that timeline. She had been camping here, a place that she and her family came to quite often. She took that solo bike ride. And then, like her family told me earlier today, she seemed to just disappear into thin air. And that's when the search started. The 911 call went out. And it has just been a massive operation spreading over 47 miles around this park. We saw searchers out all over today, literally going shoulder to shoulder and cutting through a lot of the branches, the brush, to try and see if there were any clues, any sign of her at all. But again, just about 20, 25 minutes or so ago, it appears that they found her alive, and we are just waiting for further updates from her family and from the state police.
And again, we're just getting this news. It's the first reporting we're getting from our local affiliate about her being found alive. And it is incredible news. Remind our viewers, she was out there vacationing with her family on sort of a family camping trip with other families and friends.
Right. So this isn't far from where they live, but it's a beautiful spot where they're able to come out and go camping. And friends of the family said they came here quite often. And so they had come sort of to enjoy what may have been the last good fall weather weekend around here. And so they were out with good friends and family. And she was out biking with a bunch of kids around dinner time. They were all doing this loop around the campsites. And that's when, according to police and to the governor, she said she wanted to go on one more bike ride by herself. The governor said she was kind of, being a big girl and wanting to do it herself. And so she went out. And after about 15 minutes, her family noticed that she hadn't come back. They started to get worried. They started to call for her. Other people in other campsites joined into the search. And somebody found her bicycle about half an hour after she had left. And then there was just no sign of her from there until tonight, Tom.
Okay, Kristen Dahlgren with that breaking news. Kristen, we do appreciate it. We've just gotten a statement now from New York State Police. I want to read it to our viewers here. It says, Charlotte Sena has been located and is in good health. A suspect is in custody. This is still an active investigation. More details will be released as they become available. With that, I want to bring in our next guest, Jim Kavanaugh, former ATF special agent. He's also an NBC News analyst. Jim, so I know we have very little so far from what Kristen reported and the statement I just read from New York State Police. What can you gather? Because it's been 48 hours. Luckily, they're saying she was found alive, which is incredible news.
Right, it really is, Tom. This is great news. But what the state police did right here is they flooded the zone with as many law enforcement officers as they could. And they worked this on multiple fronts. The one front that searched the woods. A child can have a problem with the bike, a chain comes off a flat tire and go off in the woods, and they don't always make the right decision. And so the state police launched this investigation by air assets, foot, searchers, and they didn't let up on that. And that's smart money. But at the same time, within, 24 hours, they put out an Amber Alert. And they said, look, we think she might have been abducted. Now, they would have examined the bike, Tom, and as you correctly reported, we do not have the information on the bike, the condition of the bike, anything that might have been wrong with it, any evidence that might have been there. And they pressed like maybe this is an abduction. So when they brought in all these troopers and deputies and agents and, the crescendo of events are happening in the park and in the area, maybe this abductor couldn't move. He couldn't feel safe to move around. Maybe a witness saw the child. Maybe she alerted someone. Maybe she escaped from his.
Okay, so I'm getting mixed reviews on the volume. Some say loud, some say low, and I don't want to blow people's eardrums. So I turned it up just a little bit, but I'm going to pause it there for a second. Let me know how the volume is. Let me just get a consensus here because I'm getting a little bit of mixed reaction. Because the knob is very fine, and if I crank it too much, I'm going to break some eardrums.
My volume set at 28%, and it's perfect.
Okay. All right. You say it's good. All right. I think we're going to leave it there. So before we continue, before we knew that she was found safe, hearing that a girl went on a bike ride, looping around in a state park, I'm sure a case that you have physically worked, Evansdale case, and the parents, she's last seen at 6:15. She hasn't seen for 15 minutes. They go looking, and the first thing they find is a bike. Now, she had her helmet on, but they only found the bike, but no helmet. What was your thoughts when you heard that?
Well, my first question would always be to the family in that situation is when she normally put the bike up or got off the bike, how long would she wear her helmet afterwards? And if the helmet, because a lot of children, that they take their helmet off and instantly they get off and place it on the bike or on the handlebars. And the location of where the bike was, if it wasn't obviously left on the trail and it was off trail, that would have been something else to consider. Was it semi-concealed? Was it thrown over in the brush? Was it someplace that a child would put a bike? And of course, I don't have that information or didn't, but those would be things that we would look at.
Interesting. Okay. So people are saying I'm a little high and the video is low. So maybe that's what people are saying. Okay. So I turned myself down a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. And I will turn it up just a little bit. And we'll play a little bit more. If you're wondering how far she got, I do have a thing that was just posted as far as let me swing it over here, close that. Oh, I can't show it until after. Oh, that's the thing that sucks about this. Anyway, I have a clip where it shows. So she got, or the suspect got about 26 minutes away. I don't know the mileage on that. I'm assuming about 30 miles away from the Moreau Lake. So we'll look at that after. We'll continue with the clip here.
His grip, we don't know the answers, but they had so many officers there. Whatever information they were able to get, they could exploit it quickly, and then they have her safely and someone in custody, or at least under questioning, to see, what is he doing with the child? Was she
Hey, Jim,
in prison, tied up?
Jim,
we have to find those answers.
Jim, I just want to tell our viewers, these are apparently our people at the campgrounds that are celebrating, people that were we understand maybe assisting in that search, regular citizens. And then, as we know, a lot of family and friends were part of this search. A lot of family and friends were there when this first happened. And just incredible news that this 9-year-old has been found. According to state police, someone is in custody. I think the incredible part about this story is that we've just spent weeks, I think about 2 weeks, right, or so, covering that escape from a Pennsylvania prison where that fugitive was hiding out in the woods forever, and that thick brush. It's so hard to find people. And then I was looking at Kristen's live shot, and it's just 7:04 on the East Coast, and Charlotte disappeared at around 6 o'clock, 6:15. So the sun was coming down. I can't imagine what those parents were going through. And step one for law enforcement was essentially looking for this 9-year-old child in pitch black conditions.
Yeah. Tom, I would say to every parent, and I'm a parent, but never let the children by themselves like that in a public area like that. Always in a group, hopefully with adult supervision, but they're safer in a group by themselves. That's what the predators are looking for. And these creeps are everywhere. They're everywhere. They're escaped from penitentiaries. They're sexual predators. They're criminals everywhere. They see a lone child. They see it as an easy mark. Don't do that. Don't let your children.
Okay, so I'm going to see if there's any more on this here. Okay, so because they switched to Trump and then they go back, so
cheering and clapping. They wanted to thank the media and everybody for sending, their thoughts and prayers and keeping her in the news and in the headlines, so the search would continue. Really just an emotional moment there. They said they hadn't been able to see her yet, that they were still waiting for that reunion. I imagine that's going to come at some point in the overnight hours, but really just a wonderful moment as they got that news that she was found alive, Tom.
Kristen, any other news, any other reporting? I know it's just coming in about the suspect who's been arrested.
Right. So we do know from the New York State Police that they have arrested a suspect. They are not giving any additional information at this time. And they said the next official update won't come until sometime tomorrow morning. And so they are now working, as they have been, on a search for the past 48 hours. Now they're working on their investigation to see what happened to Charlotte and what role this suspect may have played. And so that is continuing into the overnight hours as well, Tom.
So I guess that makes sense, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of questions: who, what, where, when, how. And right now, I'm assuming they're going to try to get that from the suspect, Steve, as much details, if he doesn't just lawyer up or.
Well, I mean, they're going to be able, we have a victim, and of course that victim will be transported to a medical facility. They'll be doing all different types of, seeing if what she endured, what she experienced,
Sure.
what type of traumas, And she is a victim of an abduction. And what did she face during those hours?
Yeah,
It's
2
just
whole
too
days.
horrible to imagine. For the fact that she is someone that has survived an abduction.
Yes.
And we'll just have to see what the stories and what the charges, because when he's officially charged, through those charges, we'll have a clearer understanding of what this poor child endured.
Right. Let's see. I'm just looking at some updates. Give me a second, guys. There's a few statements coming out. So if you're just tuning in, it doesn't look like there's. So I'm sure everybody is wondering. There's going to be a press conference, but from what it sounds like, that may not happen until tomorrow. So, but what was it? Oh, I was going to show you guys just what someone posted here. So, if I'm understanding this, this is Moreau Lake, and they're saying they have this area posted here. So it's Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Let me know in the chat. I know there's some people local in the chat. Let me know if that sounds about right. And here's one statement that came out. Really just basic information. We are overjoyed at the news that they found Charlotte had been located safely this evening after an intense days-long search. Our hearts are with the family as they welcome her home. Thank you to the New York State Police Department, all who've worked tirelessly to find Charlotte. This is because of their efforts. Charlotte was able to return home safe to her family. So that is good to hear. And there's Moreau Lake, and I had a lot of details that we were going to break down. But I mean, I guess there's a few things that we could touch on. Let me see if there's anything else, and I'll keep my eye on chat as well. But I'm just going to update and to see if there's anything else here on Twitter that gives us any more info. And if you guys do hear anything in the chat, let me know, especially mods if you have a link to something. But I'll keep my eyes on it. But overall, what a great ending. And like I said, I can't help but go back to the Evansdale where we have a child that goes bike riding. Different area, but still at a park. And this is the area that she went. So I guess we can recap this, and then we'll check chat here in just a second. But she went bike riding a couple times around this loop, and we'll get a closer look at it. And she wanted to go one last time by herself at 6:15. And after not seeing her for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, because I'm assuming that's about how long it takes to go around. I think it's a 1/3 of a mile, this loop. And so then they went searching for her, and at 6:45 they found the bike, which is just kind of like Evansdale, same thing. You know, they found the 2 girls' bikes, but no girls. And then they called 911 immediately after. But what's interesting is this loop in the area. It's all right by the entrance in the park office. It's it's one way in, one way out with the entrance and with the loop itself. And if we look a little bit closer at the actual area, it was packed. I guess because it's kind of the end of even now it's fall. It's kind of the end of camping season. So I guess this time at this time it's real beautiful. The season's changing, and so it's a popular place to go at this time of year. And so from what the report says, this was at maximum capacity. And if you go down Google Earth or Google Maps, and we will here in a minute, just from this screenshot alone, just kind of gives you an idea. Like the camping that I'm used to is way different. It's kind of like what me and you experienced, where your closest neighbor is, maybe a half a football field away, where this is just everybody's kind of right there. Um, but Steve, my thoughts. So the girls went around a couple times before she went solo. So now knowing this is abduction, do you think this guy was scouting and then saw
Well,
his opportunity with, now it's just one girl?
well, my biggest question is this something that is a local park that is only used mostly by residents within a certain distance of the park, um, and or mostly by and what is the relationship between this child and this person? Was it by chance that he happened to be at the park at the time and saw a child that he knew and took advantage of the situation? There's a lot of things I absolutely just don't understand um, in such a crowded situation that if you have a child that is taken and is taken by a stranger, then of course you would expect that there would be some type of confrontation. And if it's crowded, parents and especially um, our wonderful mothers out there, if they see a young child in danger or is um, screaming for help or asking for help, they'll step forward. Absolutely. I mean, um, mama bears are extremely protective of all children,
Yeah,
thankfully. Um,
yeah.
and so it does lead me to a little bit of confusion of how this individual was to have the ability to lead her away from all these other victims without some um, understanding that or how he would be able to say, hey, come with me without having some type of relationship with her.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And it
Because
seems
all
with
kids, even at the age of 9, we know about stranger danger. And was she well aware of that? And I just, like I said, it leads me to some confusion about how that occurred.
So we're definitely getting some inside information from Melissa. 'Cause I think it sounds like she's out there. Correct me, Melissa, because you're certainly giving some very excellent or some inside information. I really appreciate that. I got to catch up here because she's talking about a motel and stuff. So definitely me kind of read her comments here. Uh, Me, Chris, yes. Her neighbor said on channel 13. All right, maybe we'll have to look up channel 13 here in a bit.
Well, that would explain it if she knew who the neighbor was, and there was some way that this individual was able to say, "Hey, come with me. Your parents are looking for you," or they called me. There had to be some type of ruse to be able to take a child away from a crowded park without, I saw, and I was part of a abduction arrest where an individual was at a park and tried to abduct a child, and it didn't go well for him. And uh,
oh, wow.
for the fact it was a total stranger. And when we got there, they had him tied up with life jackets and belts and everything you can imagine that would be in a state park. So,
Good, good.
yeah.
So yeah. Wow. Um, let's see here. So, God, I had so much put together because just an hour ago, this she was still missing, and I had all these PowerPoints that I was going to address and ask you, and now here we are. Peggy, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I really appreciate that. That helps us out a lot. We've got 500 people in here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. We're kind of winging it because we just got the news literally like 10, 15 minutes before we went live. So we're all trying to catch up on this. And I'm just looking at Melissa's comments here because it seems like she's got some inside information. Okay, so Melissa lives in Saratoga. Okay, so that's right there uh, of where all this went down. And so I'm just kind of reading her, getting caught up on all her stuff here. Daniela, yes, I worked at the big hotel in State Park in Gideon, but I don't know what motel she was at. We have several. Okay, so we don't know exactly which motel. So she was taken to a motel from what we're getting. Melissa's been on my channel for a long time, so I trust she's being forthcoming. Don't know his name. More tomorrow. Yeah, I don't think they'll probably release his name at this time, I'm sure. But it sounds like if you're just coming in, there won't be a press conference today. I'm sure they'll, if he doesn't lawyer up, they'll try to see to get what kind of information. And yeah, just getting caught up on chat here. But anyway, let me pull up a news article and see what else I can find here. She said Channel 13. And let me see if I can pull this up. Here is Fox News. See if I can pull this up. Here's an article. Let me pull this over to you guys so you guys can see it. I'm not sure if there's anything new in this one that we don't know already, but I'll read it, and then after this, I'll look on YouTube and see if there's. I'm sure there's got to be some new clips as well. So let me see. I'm at the top here. So she had been found after disappearing from the Moreau Lake State Park on Saturday. Authorities, police announced on Monday night that a suspect had been taken into custody over the incident. Charlotte is reported safe and healthy. She has been located in good health. The statement reads, a suspect in custody. This is still an active investigation. She is being evaluated at the hospital. So I think while we were watching that clip, I think they said she hadn't been quite turned over to the parents yet. So I'm assuming she's still receiving medical attention. And there's just a statement saying our hearts go out to the family. Then it talks about her disappearance before she was found. She went missing on Loop A in Moreau Lake State Park around 6:15. Let's see. Talks about that. We know that part. Okay, so nothing too much new on that. So I'm going to pull up YouTube here real quick and if we can get a new updated news report. So let me pull this up here and see. So let me pull up Fox 13, and that would be Saratoga. Uh, 6 hours, 6 hours, 2 hours, 28 minutes ago. Okay, so we got one here. Okay, this was just posted. So let me close that one. Let's see what this one says real quick. And thank you, Melissa, and to everybody in here. So I need to stop screen, present, share, Chrome tab, and it's that one. Okay, and we should be okay on volume.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce.
Now to breaking news in the search for a missing 9-year-old girl tonight in upstate New York. Kristen Dahlgren joins us live. And Kristen, Charlotte Sena has been found okay, we understand.
Right, Lester. Just an incredible end to this 2-day-long search. It was about 6:45 Eastern when we started to notice state police troopers leaving here where they have been searching with their lights going, peeling out of here. And then we got confirmation from the New York State Police that 9-year-old Charlotte Sena has been found alive. They do have a suspect in custody. It was Saturday evening around dinner time when she was biking with friends here at this state park. And then she wanted to go for one more loop by herself. And that's when her family says she disappeared almost into thin air. They found her bicycle, but there was no sign. That tipped off a massive, massive search here over the past 2 days. But again, tonight, we know that she has been found alive, Lester.
And Kristen, what is the family saying about all this?
just an incredible moment, Lester. They just came out to thank the media for keeping her story out there. They were celebrating. They were cheering. They said she's alive. They said, we'll try and keep it down. They haven't been able to talk to her yet. They haven't been able to see her, but they are just ecstatic that the little girl that they have been looking for is now safe. She is with authorities, and they hope to reunite with her soon, Lester.
And I'm glad we can report it. All right, Kristen Dahlgren, thanks very much. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
There it is. Okay. So I pulled up. Okay, I found this. All right, Steve. So here is just a general idea. We don't know which motel. And then I'll get your thoughts on this real quick. So let me just switch back over. Okay, so here is the Moreau Lake Park where she was at. And here is the Loop A that she was at. Makes me wonder if they never confirmed anything about cameras, but there was mention that they may have a trail cam. And, at the entrance, we'll look at that here in just a minute, but usually they would have a camera to protect the gate person. But anyway, there's the place that she was abducted, and she was taking 10 miles south to the Saratoga Springs area, is what we're kind of slowly getting little details in. So not too far, but was taken to a motel. Melissa and Chad, do we know where that detail comes from? Is that just from local talk? Okay, she says, Channel 13, my friend texted me it, and I live in Saratoga. Okay, so that's where I think she's getting some of the details from.
Well, it makes sense that if he is a registered offender, he knows that they will be coming to his residence if he's within a certain distance of an abduction. So he would have to have another location where he would be able to place a child that wouldn't be searched or be known. And the 7 to 10 miles is within what the old guidelines were of an offender will transport victims, because the longer you're with a victim, especially in this type of abduction, the more likely you'll be discovered. And so that 7 to 10 minutes, 7 to 10 miles is within those parameters.
That's spot on. That is wild, and that's a great statement. I know you've been saying that a lot, and yeah, that lines right up with the 10-minute time frame, and we can see that there. I mean, just like any place. I mean, I don't know how big Saratoga Springs is. Let's see. I'm kind of backing up here. Let me pull up the different layers. Oh yes, it's a big town. So yeah, I'm sure they've got a lot of different hotels and stuff in here. But I guess that's it's a great news, considering if she got lost in the woods, and after 2 days, that might not have been good, because she would only been having what she had on her, clothing. I'm assuming it would have gotten very cold at night, and without some kind of shelter, would have succumbed to the elements. Yeah, this is really great news. And let me check chat here. And like I said, I just hearing this before we knew that she was found alive, I just can't help but go back to the Evansdale, sadly, with kind of similar circumstances where they found her bike. And I'll pull that up for those that may not know the Evansdale, but let's see, I had it. Let's see here. There it is. So the kind of scary similarities is with the case of two cousins, Elizabeth and Lyric, and we both covered it. You've been out there, and we may do some more things with that case. But the two cousins went parking, and they were going around this lake here on a bike trail, and sadly, an unknown party or parties were waiting for them, and then after not returning home, they went searching for them. They found the bikes abandoned, just kind of tossed to the side. They did have a purse. One of them had a purse. They found their belongings tossed, but no bodies or anything. And sadly, they would not be found. And this happened on July 13, 2012. So it's been well over a decade. And then sadly, many months later, many miles away, they sadly found the two girls' remains at another county park, which is very sad. And this case is still unsolved, and it's considered a pretty big case. It's kind of talked about along the lines with Delphi, because there's
and actually, one of the victims' birthday is today. I believe Lyric's birthday is today.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Wow. What a crazy time. Let me get caught up in chat here, and I'll double check. Let's see. And then I do have another, because, you know, as you guys know, I usually try to feature someone at the beginning of the show. I am going to bring that up here when we get a chance. A ransom note was left at their house. Okay, I cannot confirm that. I thank you, Anna, and please take that with a grain of salt. Nothing against you, Anna. Just we always get details, and we don't know for sure until. So I am going to refresh Twitter here, and I'm going to actually pull up the Facebook page here and see if there's some details here. So let me pull this over, and we're going to look at the New York State Police. This is where they were kind of updating some of the details. So it just says the Amber Alert has been canceled. This was an hour ago, so they haven't really updated anything else that I see on that. Let me go back to YouTube and see if I can find another clip, because I'm sure they're going to start rolling in here. So, Charlotte. And Charlotte Sena, not Sena. I learned about that. WFLA is now they're saying awaiting press conference. Now usually you get in trouble for doing WFLA. I'm just gonna peek in real quick and see what he's saying. But we're gonna back out here because if I play it too much, they're gonna copyright me. So I don't want that. So we'll just quickly see if there's anything that he says with any updates. So stop screen, share screen, share.
As Gigapixel AI uses revolutionary AI technology to accurately. Okay. Think about the joy that this family is going to have as they finally get some rest tonight and they can sleep with Charlotte safe in their arms. I mean, this is the stuff that gives you chills. This is the stuff that really makes you grateful when you get news of this caliber. And you hear about law enforcement agencies coming together, volunteers coming together, it's just extraordinary what can be done when, you know, that there's a single goal, and there's the single goal in this case. There has been since Saturday.
I'm going to
of
go back. He
finding
started
Charlotte
about
safe and
30
sound, and
minutes
they did
ago.
so.
See if there's.
But I want to know to be SWAT team members. I've been to Saratoga Springs a bunch.
Okay, so he's talking about Saratoga Springs.
Is
Let me
this-
back this up here. So they would have probably brought in SWAT if she was at a
Is
motel.
a
This
victim
was something that
in
you
this
would
case.
probably. I'm going to pause it for a second. This would be something you may have been when you were in SWAT. Would this be something that you would respond to possibly?
Yeah, anytime you have a high risk, or you know, not just from the standpoint of who the offender is, but what the offender, and you have someone that's so vulnerable that is unable to protect themselves, that you want to go in there and absolutely control that situation 100%. And those are the guys that can do that. And they'll use whatever force is necessary to try to make sure that they have a successful rescue, recovery, and with a minimum risk to the child or whoever the victim is that they're trying to protect. And I was fortunate enough that I experienced where we had some children. All the child rescues I was involved in were, of course, children that it was due to some type of domestic event. And but I've been there, done that, and had some successful rescues. And it is absolutely one of the greatest things and greatest feelings that you'll ever have is when you walk out that front door and knowing that you played a part in the successful recovery of a child that is uninjured. Now, of course, we don't know what her state is and what recovery she'll have to go through. That'll all come out through the medical evaluations by the professionals. And of course, like I said, she's traumatized. You know, she's been with a stranger for several days or for a lot, you know, and for this time period. So she will be going through a recovery period.
Yeah. So yes, I'm going to read this. This is interesting. Charlotte 9 found safe. Governor Kathy, who was at the state park over the weekend helping with the search, joined us live. A person is in custody. The governor tells me police were able to pull fingerprints off a ransom note, which assisted in the investigation. Wow, when's the last time we heard about a ransom note? That is wild. So this was clearly premeditated, right? I mean, if you've got a ransom note that they got fingerprints off, I'm assuming. Where do you think they would have found that?
Well, I mean, you know, first off, you know, there's anytime you have, and just because you have a ransom note doesn't mean that note it has anything to do with the abduction. For the fact that you may have someone taking advantage of the situation, so law enforcement will still run parallel investigations just to make sure. For the fact that sometimes you'll have these people that, I mean, there's a lot of sickness out there, and there's a lot of evil people out there, and even among the criminals themselves. So just because you have a ransom note doesn't mean immediately that it has to do with that offender. And it may well be in this case, but there are situations out there where others will take advantage of situations and troll and absolutely the evil and and steps taken by these criminals is amazing.
Yeah. So here, even more information. This answers the question I was just giving you. Locals here are saying she was kidnapped. The person that kidnapped her left the note in the parents' mailbox. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. FBI police were able to get his fingerprint off the note. They found he was on the SO list, so he is an offender. Got his address, which is right by the entrance to SPAC, Saratoga Spring. Wait, Do we know what? Let me know in chat. What is SPAC? Do we know what that is?
And just by chance, I was doing some CSI crime scene reconstruction a couple 3 months ago, and I was looking at the John Bonet case and processing of notes. And I have a note here that I treated with ninhydrin, and I don't know if this is how they got the fingerprint, but there's a lot of different ways of processing notes and things to develop fingerprints. And of course, then you have touch DNA and everything that is, the technologies are out there now to identify people is amazing. But I don't know if you'll be able, but you see that dark coloring on that paper?
Yeah,
Those
here,
are
let me
fingerprints and
yeah,
palm
hold on.
prints.
Let me can I blow you up real quick? Oh, I blew me up. Hold on. Let me let me do it this way. There we go.
Yeah, all those dark areas is of a white piece of paper that's been treated with ninhydrin, and within those dark areas that you see, there's ridge details that if it's a fingerprint, you can absolutely identify it, run it through the automated fingerprint identification system, and develop a suspect.
And if
that
he's
was the
oh, I was gonna say if
Well-
he's on the list, then he's probably gonna pop up, right?
Oh yes, they'll give the most probable positive. It's not that fingerprints like what you see on TV that they come out number one. There's a list of them, and
Yeah.
there's a mathematical formula of how likely each of these fingerprints is of the suspect. You'll have an expert go in there and look at the ridge detail and narrow down and identify the whoever the fingerprint does belong to.
WVA is saying PC for a while now. Saying PC. What am I missing? PC. Saying PC for a while now. Was that worded wrong? Sorry, Dave. I'm missing what the PC is.
I don't know if he's talking about probable cause.
That's what came to my mind too. I'm sorry, Dave. Maybe you meant maybe as a typo or I'm missing something. My apologies. I'll look for your thing. Did we find out what space is? Is that what an acronym? Obviously, Monroe Park, Ballston Spa, and SPA are all 30 minutes from one another. So SPAC is obviously a town or a area.
PC is press conference, is what he's saying. Dave is
Oh,
saying
press conference. Okay. Yep. Yeah. On their thing, they said press conference possibly, but I don't think that's from what they said is going to be tomorrow. Great horse track, famous for Saratoga chips and Battlefield. Yeah, we love JB. Unfortunately, I can't really play him because there was another content creator that used to play their stuff and actually had their channel taken down because there's some that just they copyright, so just getting caught up in chat here. But yeah, what a great ending, and I still can't believe this guy wrote in ransom notes. Yeah, it doesn't seem very smart, especially being on the list.
Yeah, most definitely.
But the fact that he got away, so clearly I'm assuming, Performance Arts Center. Oh, Saratoga Performance Arts Center. I knew it was going to smack me in the face. Thank you, Melva. All right. And as a matter of fact, yeah, I was starting to kind of, I figure it had Saratoga in it. Thank you guys. Yeah, the mailbox at the actual victim's home, I'm assuming. So this guy was the neighbor, or somewhere close. Okay, I'm just getting caught in chat because there's quite a bit here. SWAT was staged at the Performance Arts Center. Okay, and we probably will get probably see some footage from that possibly. Oh, I'm reading my chat. I'm just getting caught up. There's a lot here. I'm just a little bit behind on there. Okay, now we're caught up. Anyway, that's crazy though. So ransom note in the parents' mailbox, able to get the fingerprints, and with him being on the offender list, able to obviously probably get a name and work from there. Let's see here. Fingerprints on ransom note. This guy left fingerprints on a ransom note that he delivered himself to their front door. So he just walked up. So I'm assuming it's one of the mailbox, or maybe it's a mailbox that goes through the door. So not very bright at all.
Well, especially after what we saw and with what happened with the Coburg situation about the camera canvas that would have immediately pursued after a note being found, that everyone in the neighborhood, they would have done that canvassing, obtained all the video footage of vehicles and people that would have been in the area during that time period, walking or driving.
Right. Okay, let me refresh here and see what else. Okay, fingerprint. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about the ransom note. The park remained closed because of the search. Officials asked members of the public who showed up hoping to help to stay away and leave to the search of professionals. Governor told Spectrum News 1 tonight, ransom note that came in, helped police identify a fingerprint and find the girl. Okay, so something we already knew. Let's see what this says here. Okay, this is just came in, so let me switch this one over. Sorry guys, I'm trying to work multiple things to give you guys the best update that I can. And thank you guys so much. We almost got 600 people in here. If you haven't, please hit the like button. It really helps us. We try to do a lot by giving back and helping the missing. Anything like donations really help us. Becoming a member. I do have a Patreon. And then also, before I forget, my co-host Steve, please, if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe to his channel. I got a link in the description. I need to pin it at the top. I just didn't have a chance. So I will do that after I read this. Breaking. Police identified who was in the park at the same time. Police learned multiple residences suspect is known to reside. Interesting. So he has multiple homes or places that he resides, I guess. Upon the search of those residents, state police located Charlotte safe and in good health. Okay, so maybe the motel thing is not correct, because at least the way this is worded, upon the search of those residents, state police located Charlotte safe and in good health at approximately 6:30.
Motels have long-term residences. I don't know if
that's true. That's right. They do kind of rent out. That's true. Thank you, Steve. That is true. So she was
saying
found.
that's the case, but that does occur.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. So she was found 6:30 p.m. It is 6:30 my time, a little bit after. So it was just 2 hours ago that she was found. That's crazy. So here's a little bit more. Excuse me. So this press release, October 2nd, 8 p.m. So this was literally 30, 40 minutes ago. Through the course of the investigation, police identified an individual being in the area of Moreau Lake Park around the time Charlotte went missing. Further investigation led to the search of multiple residences where the individual is known to reside. Upon the search of those residences at approximately 6:32 on October 2nd, today, she was found safe and in good health, and suspect was taken into custody. This investigation is a culmination of multiple agencies working together for the common goal of bringing this child home to her loving family. We cannot emphasize enough how appreciative we are for the support we receive from Charlotte's community, friends, and family. This is still an active investigation, obviously. In addition, a press briefing will be planned for tomorrow, October 3rd. So, no press conference today, from what this states. It will be tomorrow. Doesn't say a time right now, but we'll keep updating, and maybe we'll see. Maybe I'm guessing it just kind of depends on how he plays ball. If not, just to get as many details, right? And I'm sure to kind of, sure there's a lot, with so many agencies, they've got to kind of, get their ducks lined in a row. I'm assuming,
Well,
Steve, with the press
well, I mean, there's
conference.
still a lot of things as far as, most importantly right now, of course, the professionals who are doing the evaluation of the victim and making sure that she's taken care of. Then you'll have the investigative crews that they still have crime scenes to process. They have a vehicle that has to be processed. They have
Ooh.
they have to obtain search warrants of not just this residence, but other residences also, because we may have other victims that we don't even know about yet. I mean, we can't jump instantly to the conclusion that this is his first abduction and he may have been elsewhere, and there may be other victims out there we don't know about. So there's a lot of processing and a lot of things that law enforcement is going to be doing in the next 24 to 72 hours as far as processing all these scenes and known residences of his to see if there's not only evidence regarding this case, but possibly other cases.
Interesting. Where the wind blows, thank you so much for the $4 super sticker. That really helps us, because we've got more stuff planned, and those donations and the support that comes in, those go back into these cold cases that we work on, and we are always discussing new cases in the future. Well, not just new cases, but projects that we're going to be doing coming up. Let's see, where's that true crime web? I'm going to go ahead and pin that. I need to find that real quick. Give me a second, guys. I just need to just saw you put that up there. Where are you? I was going to pin your thing at the top. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me pin that at the top. Okay, so pinned at the top. Like I said, if you're new to mine or Steve's channel, you can go check out his channel at True Crime Web. The link is pinned at the top now. And let me get caught up in chat here. Steve, open-minded, thinks fast on his feet. Yeah, we love having Steve on here. And is a wizard at crime scenes and much more. Let's see. So yeah, there is some speculation that this was a neighbor, because I guess if he walked up to the mailbox, it could be a neighbor. I mean, I've been seeing it in chat. We cannot confirm that right now, but I'm assuming that could make sense. Someone that lived nearby this residence. So obviously he's probably been scouting this girl, probably. And then
Well, not only that, but we have to look at was this something that was publicized by the family on their social media platforms? Is that how he knew where she was going to be? Had they published some pictures that day of being at a park that he was familiar with? and what they were doing. I mean, there's so many things that could have led him to understand where she was at and how at any particular time. And did he take advantage of that situation?
Right, right. Let me click on this one here. CNN. Let me see what this says here. If there's any information on this one. Okay, it just talks about what we know. Found the bike. But yeah, if it was a neighbor, obviously it's somebody she knew, and he just happened to be there, obviously there would be no cause for concern. Maybe he's on the other side of the camping area, just so happened to be camping because that's the spot to go, when it's the time of season. And
Yeah.
so
Either that, or
obviously,
like I said, he targeted off some
yeah,
posting that they may have innocently made, not realizing the danger that our predators, these registered offenders, if he is who is being reported, um, they go out there and they take advantage of the situation. And um, we just have to be so careful in protecting our children.
good to see everybody in here. I wish I could shout everybody out. We'd be here all day, but thank you, Jazzy. Hey, Mom Crew, glad I can make it. Better late than never. Yep. And we're just getting the news as it comes out. I mean, I'm not sure there's going to be a whole lot of info until tomorrow. But this is just a great day. And we do have another story that we're going to tie into this. So as we'll keep kind of looking at updates, but I do want to talk about another case just a little bit because I promised that I would talk about it. Josh Saposh, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I feel like this result doesn't happen enough. Yes, I totally agree. Though I can't imagine the trauma she's gone through. Thank you to all law enforcement involved. Thank you so much, Josh, for the $5 and the wonderful comment. Means a
Oh
lot.
yes, statistically, the
Oh,
odds of her being found alive was, especially at this time period, was extremely small because so often those within within 4 to 5 hours, generally the numbers start going down vastly for a worst case scenario.
right. They say 48 hours, but I think that's not even close. It's really
Yeah, I think it's
hours.
like 80-something% that within 4 hours that is not the result
Oh,
that you would want.
no, go ahead. Yeah, finish that because you told me that and that shocked the heck out of me.
Yeah, I believe it's in the upper 80% that within 3 to 4 hours that in abductions such as this, that typically the victim is found deceased.
Wow.
Or at least that was a number that used to be out there. I don't know what the new numbers are, but that was a number that we had to work with back in the day.
Wow. That is crazy. Maria Torres, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. You are so awesome. Really appreciate the support. Definitely seen a lot of people saying he was a neighbor of a relative. Interesting. So it may not be the neighbor, but a neighbor to a relative. So obviously someone that's close to the family in some regards. And then clearly that makes it easier for a target, especially if he interacted with her and she was comfortable around this person. Daniela, thank you so much for the $1.99. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely recap some things as well. But was there a ransom note? Yes, there was a ransom note. Yeah, let me refresh Twitter here. See what else we got. Oops. Let me do this here. Need to need to string up the perp. I see some people saying that they did ID the guy or release the ID of the guy. Okay, so reported by WFL, Charlotte was found in a trailer. I'm just going to say take that with a grain of salt for right now. Although I trust WFLA, I just don't know this Twitter post, and that could be because now we've heard motel, trailer. Although yeah, either one wouldn't surprise me. Okay, JB knows the name, but it's not going to say it. I mean, really, if we have the name right now, it's not going to make too much of a difference. I mean, I could pull up his background, but I don't want to do that on the live, especially if we don't know some of these sources right now. Okay, so that was that. So yeah, I guess we'll just recap real quick everything. And so let me just pull up my thing here. And okay, so we'll just quickly run through this and then we'll check one more update here. So this is Charlotte Sena is how the last name's pronounced, not Sena. 9 years old, blonde, 4'6", and she was camping at this Moreau State Park. They were camping at this area, what's called Loop A, which is real close to the entrance and exit. It's the main thing right there. This place was packed at maximum capacity. She rode her bike around a couple of times with her cousin or friends, and then she wanted to go one last time by herself. When she did that, she left at let's see where pull this up. She left at 6:15. After 15 minutes, the family got concerned, went to look for her. 30 minutes later, they found her bike. She had a helmet, but they didn't find her helmet, which I thought was very concerning. And then right after that, they called 911. So, and that's just another look at the area, and that's Loop A, which is very interesting because it's just kind of one way in, one way out. And then, so for 2 days, they've been searching with every search team that you could think of: air, ground, water. And then finally, just a few hours, we learned that she has been found safe. And I've got so many of these opened up. I need to. So this is how far she ended up. So here's Moreau State Park, and she was found. So they were stationed at the Saratoga. Yeah, let me pull that up. Saratoga Performance Arts Center. Okay, so that's a little bit further south. So I guess they were staged up here. So I'm assuming wherever they found her would be somewhere in this vicinity here. Close that. And what helped lead to the suspect is they found a ransom note at the mailbox. I guess this suspect delivered it to their mailbox. And on that ransom note was the fingerprints. This guy is, I guess, on the offender SO registry. And then they were able to determine that he had multiple residences that he stayed at. And from there, I guess, scattered them and found her safe and alive and well. She's at the hospital last time we looked, and I think will eventually be released to her parents. So Amazing news. Amazing news. Sophie, do you think the suspect will talk to you? You think this guy will lawyer up, or do you think have you ever dealt with one of these kind of guys, a registered POS?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They absolutely know how to deal with children, but when it comes to dealing with um, law enforcement and how and what they're facing, not only through the court system but prison times, there's a lot of incentive for them to cooperate.
Interesting. That would make sense. Try to make some kind of deal. Haley Shoup, I don't know why, but I missed yours at the beginning, so thank you so much. I'm just going to go through them here. I can't pull them all up, but because we got a lot of comments. But Haley, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Peggy, I think I thanked you for the $10. Miranda Lee posted something, justice for Elizabeth. And yes, we are going to be hopefully doing something with that soon. Justice for Lyric and Elizabeth. That is a cold case Steve has worked on. He went out there a few months ago. So that's awesome that he's been working on that case, keeping that alive. And we also have Karen Winesmore. Keep up the great work. Love what you guys do. Thank you so much, Karen, for the $20. Really appreciate it. Just looking at the okay, I'm just looking at chat. Unknown freak. Is that the name? I'm just going to write that down real quick. I see a name. I'm not going to say it out loud right now just because I don't know if it's true and I don't want anybody getting doxxed. Okay, I think we're caught up in here. So anyway, we'll double check before we go, but I do want to switch over real quick, guys. So please stick with us because I had a family member, someone that's close to a family member, because as you guys know, we do feature missing posters at the beginning of the show. Unfortunately, we didn't do that at the beginning because we had this breaking news. And so I just wanted to talk about a case real quick, just for about 10 minutes. Something I would have normally done, like I said at the beginning, but we had all this breaking news to uncover. But this was sent in by a family member. And as a matter of fact, the parents or family members may be watching right now. So I wanted to make sure I at least featured her. So this is Kaylana Turner. So obviously this is a different case. We're just going to talk about this for 10 minutes, and then we'll go back over to Charlotte. But this is Kaylana Turner. She went missing on March 10th of this year. Some interesting circumstances. She was last seen in Tomball, Texas. So this happened in Tomball, Texas, and I'll kind of show where that is. She's just 27 years old, 5'4", 127 pounds. And like I said, I had a family member or a close friend to the family member contact me and ask me if I could feature her in an upcoming show. And I told her, of course, I am more than happy to help people out. And that goes for anybody. If you can you hear that, Steve?
No.
So here's just a small clip from that real quick, that story. And then, like I said, we will jump back. But I wanted to play this for the family.
4 months have now passed, and in tonight's
We have
edition of
volume.
The Missing, Fox 26's Gabby Hart has the latest on the desperate search.
Kaylana Turner crashed her car into a wooded area in Tomball and then ran into those woods. She was barefoot and wearing only a long dress. Her family tells us she was in distress and that there was initially a deputy on her trail, but that he didn't go into those woods after her.
We're praying for answers.
28-year-old Kaylana Turner hasn't been seen since March 10th, 2023. Her mother, Rosa Calhoun, says Kaylana was suffering from PTSD and having a bad reaction to prescription medication.
She fell asleep in a stranger's driveway.
That driveway was located on Country Hill in the Holly Creek Trails area of Tomball. Her family says when she woke up, a deputy was banging on her window, and eventually he shattered the glass. That's when they say Kaylana sped off through a backyard, crashed into a wooded area, and then took off running. Her family's been searching for her ever since.
That there is a Kaylana-sized hole in my heart.
If we find that dress, we'll find her somewhere.
And this family is finally getting the help they've been waiting for. Search and Rescue of San Antonio, Texas, traveled to Tomball and spent an entire weekend searching that area where she went missing.
Where she came up missing from is very dense. So it's kind of hard for us to walk through some of it.
Nina Glass, director for SNR San Antonio, was on the ground along with the volunteers. They also brought out underwater drones to search deep bodies of water that are in the area.
We have 2 underwater drones. One has an arm on it and one doesn't. The one with the arm is able to pick up things out of the water. They can go up to 300 feet, and then they have a phone, and you watch the phone and you can see everything underwater.
And while nothing turned up, they were able to eliminate surrounding areas and properties to help narrow down the search. The Calhouns had initially received help from EcuSearch, but once the sheriff's office issued a warrant for Kaylana's arrest, EcuSearch had to take a step back. But Fox 26 can...
So just like I said, we'll get back to the main story, but we have resolution to this Charlotte story, but this family here is still missing their daughter. And like I said, this happened on March 10th of this year in Tomball, Texas. And like I said, I'll pull up the map before we get back to Charlotte. But yeah, she ended up, for some reason, she ended up parking her car in a stranger's driveway, and she fell asleep for some reason. Not sure the circumstances behind that. I guess the homeowner had called the cops. And so when they showed up, there's this, lady in the car. She's not responding. I don't know if she was under medication or what, or she's just heavy asleep. And he tried to get her attention. Eventually had to result by grabbing a 2x4, breaking the window. And when he broke the window, that of course, if she hadn't been awoke, she had awoke by then, and of course panicked, and she drove through a couple of yards and then ended up crashing into a wooded area not far from that, and ran off into the woods and has not been seen since. But I was going to ask you, Steve, I mean, because some of the family members and some people ask questions, with the officers are using a 2x4, I mean, is that common, or is that just something, he had to use because he didn't know what her situation?
Yeah, we don't know. I absolutely don't know circumstances that existed at that moment for him
Sure.
to jump to the immediate response of that he had to have immediate entry into the vehicle. Did he see something, or did he believe that this is the quickest way to extract her from the vehicle? As far as, was she in danger? Was the car running? Did he believe that possibly she was a victim of carbon monoxide, or we don't know the details of what could have been going on, and that he needed to get her out at that moment. Or there's a lot of things that when you first get to these scenes with all these unknowns, and you have someone that is unconscious, you don't know if it's are they in the and we have such a epidemic of drug related deaths that if you don't get and apply certain what would be the term and countermeasures to make sure that they're not having a some type of reaction to some of these illegal drugs that oftentimes result in deaths, that you only have a narrow window to apply some of these medicines and that officers, and there's a certain I can't think of it by name, that you only have minutes, that if they're having a certain reaction to certain drugs that you have to apply it within a time period. And I don't know if that's what the officer was trying to do. So but I can see, whereas if you get there and you only have a minute or two and you don't understand the situation, you will try to break a window. Picking up a 2x4 seems a little bit extreme, but if that's all he had, if he didn't have some type of a window tool, like I think you gave away some, the window breakers, and that a 2x4 would work. But we'll just have to see and have an understanding from the family what type of medication she was on, how often she needs that medication, and was she having some other type of reaction to some unknown drug. We just don't know those facts.
Yeah, there was mention that she was suffering some mental illness, and I guess she had some PTSD. That was heavily mentioned. PTSD. I'm not sure exactly from what, but and yeah, she just ended up sleeping in this car. Ended up at a stranger's house, sleeping in her car. Not sure the circumstances. I'm sure maybe the family has a little bit more. So I'm seeing some more names. I see this Charles Ross, which is a guy that was brought up before, which is kind of interesting. I don't know if this is a guy or not. But anyway, so yeah, as we finish, that is Kaylana Turner. Just what was it, 27 years old? Yes. Went missing this year. So I promised the family member that I would feature her, and so anybody out in that direction, please be on the lookout for her. So with that, let's see if there's any more updates. I'm seeing some people mention some names here. I just got to close a couple of windows here. Just give me a second here. I got a lot of windows open here. Okay, so that was Casey. Let me see if he has any more updates on his thing here. Nope, nothing on that one. They go down to alert. Latest. Okay, we got a picture, but I don't know what this picture is. I've seen a lot of times where they'll post a picture and it's not the right guy. Okay, so the suspect is Craig Ross Jr. See, I've seen Charles Ross. So this is why I try to hesitate, because I've seen Charles Ross, Charles Rose. Now I've got a Craig Ross Jr. Is this connected to an article? Okay. Law enforcement sources told News 13 the suspect in Charlotte's disappearance is identified as Craig Ross Jr. So let me look him up. Right. So that is the guy, and I know I've got a few super chats I got to get to. Give me a second, guys. Sarah. Let's see here. Craig Ross Jr. Sure, there's going to be a lot of Craig Ross. That seems kind of like a rather popular name. Okay. Anyway, I'm just looking at. Let me get to these real quick so I don't miss them. And thank you guys so much to everybody taking the time of their day to watch us. Karen, keep up the great work. Love what you do. I think, is that an old one that I get, or is that a new one, Karen? That might be a new one. Thank you, Karen, again. Mind of Monsters, thank you both for all what you do. Love you, Steve. Amazing as always, bringing them all home. That's a great hashtag. Amazing that she was found safe. Sharing is caring. Thank you so much, Mind of Monsters. Love the name. Let's see. Tracy, email Chris with the info. He can feature it on a show. Yeah, if you got something, if we got a little bit of time, I'll check my email. I want to be very careful about showing anybody's face until we know who the exact offender is, because we don't want to be showing somebody that may not actually be the guy. So I've seen a couple of different names now. I feel like I missed one
If he's a
here.
registered offender, I don't really care. You know, all of them need to be exposed. It's a public service.
Yeah. Many people say they get all these second chances, and it's just terrible. Okay, let's just take one last look here. Yeah, don't pay no mind to that picture because we don't know if that's the guy or not. I see a lot of stuff, but I do see the Craig Ross coming up a bunch, so that seems to be possibly the name. There's Karen Lee. All right, what's this here? Charlotte, let me see what this one is. Okay. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Karen, for posting this. Okay, so 9-year-old Charlotte was found alive today. Multiple law enforcement sources said that the suspect, so he is 46-year-old Craig Ross Jr., allegedly left a note at Charlotte's parents' home, possibly demanding some type of ransom in connection with her disappearance. Those sources also said that the police had raided a house in Milton on Monday. That residence is on Barrett Road, so we'll take a look at that before we go. Off Middleland Road, about 13 miles south of where Charlotte was seen. Excuse me. About 13 miles south of where Charlotte Sena lived with her family in Porter Corners, North Carolina. Relatives of the suspect apparently live at the Barrett Road residence, and the girl may have been found in some type of trailer on that property. So she was found on a trailer. State police issued a statement Monday evening saying Charlotte had been found safe and in good health. She was taken by ambulance to the Albany Medical Center Hospital. Subsequent statement from the agency said that it had identified an individual as being in the area of Moreau State Park around the time Charlotte went missing. Further investigation led to the search of multiple residences where the individual is known to reside. A few hours before that notice was issued, a large contingent of state police gathered in the parking lot of the Saratoga Performing Arts Center off Route 50. Roughly 20 unmarked state police vehicles, military-style tactical vehicles, SWAT team, the whole kit and caboodle here. State police blocked off the Barrett Road on Monday evening, preventing motorists from entering the residential street. Governor says she's overjoyed with the news that Charlotte was found safely. The arrest was made less than 3 hours after state police said their ongoing search had expanded over 46 linear miles. Interesting. Approximately 400 certified search and rescue personnel from dozens of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies were a part of the search. So many to thank. Jenny Lee Smith, the wife of human pipe fitter who works with Charlotte's father, stopped in at Dunkin's Donut less than 5 minutes from the park entrance just before 2 p.m. Monday and taped a sign to the window. One of the 2,000 missing person flyers printed by the union. Stay, please. See if there's any more relevant information. Okay, so let me go back to the top here. Let me see if I can get the address, so we can get a little bit closer idea of where that was at. So the house on Milton, Barrett Road. So I'm going to pull up Google Maps here, see if we can get a little better idea where this is at. I'm going to pull up that, and I'm going to pull up direction. Barrett Road. So we should be able to see Barrett Road somewhere. Barrett Road. Two T's. Road. Is that it? Oh, that's it. Okay. Let's see this. How big is Barrett Road? Not big. All right. Let's see if there's trailers on this road here. Oh, yeah. This is Milton. So somewhere, we don't know the exact address. That's definitely not a trailer. I wonder if there's a trailer or something like offset like that, maybe. I mean, this looks like a pretty nice neighborhood. I'm just going down Barrett Road here to. I mean, this is a nice neighborhood, but so held in a trailer, maybe somewhere at one of these residences, or maybe off the road or something. Let's see. When was this taken?
We don't know what kind of trailer. I mean, it could be a work trailer. It could be.
Yeah, sure. So that's the rough area of where she was found in a trailer. And if we go to where she was, so now we can get exact location. So she was actually technically taken. What is that? 18 miles? Oh yeah, 18. So she actually was taken 18.7 miles from her location and found here at Barrett Road in a trailer. And they were staged at this Saratoga place. Where was it? It was close by there. So great news. Let me double check the comments. Any else stuff you want to add, Steve?
No, I appreciate you having me. I'm glad that we have good news in the worst case scenario, the best news that we could hope for, and so we and I hope that the professionals are able to get in there and she has a full recovery because what she has experienced in the last couple of days is absolutely traumatic.
Yes, totally agree. And yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please hit that like button. And one more time, Steve, my co-host, he has his own own channel, True Crime Web, as you can see above his head. Link to his channel is at the top. Please go show him some love and subscribe to his channel. He goes live multiple times a week. Former forensic detective, works SWAT, and his shows. He does amazing shows, and he spends a lot of time with his chat where he answers questions, which is very amazing. So if you definitely want to get that kind of experience where they go through and answer just about every question you put in the chat, which is absolutely amazing.
I don't do it by myself. Fortunately, I have Mrs. Steve.
Yes. Yeah, I could use a Mrs. Steve. That's for dang sure to be able to do that. The other thing I want to say is the mods that we have in this chat are absolutely amazing. We've got DD, we got Karen. I don't know if I've seen Copper Horse. I know she works a lot of different channels. Jocelyn was in here. Michaela, they do an amazing job, and we are going to do something for them sometime before the year ends as well to get back to them. Just checking chat here. Marie says, "Who's this Steve guy? I missed a fairly new subscriber." Yeah, I just kind of talked about it. Former detective. He covers true crime just like me, and he does a lot of experiments. We did that with Delphi. Amazing content. Definitely go check him out. And the link to his channel again, like I said, is pinned at the top. So I'm just gonna double check, make sure I didn't miss any more. And I just put out something for the members. So like I said, I have a members and a Patreon that you can support this channel. And I just put out our video of your campfire, Steve. Your bonfire. People really enjoyed that one. If you want, I could send that video over to you if you want. I don't know if you would like to upload it to your members, but I know my members got a kick out of it, the Georgia way. So, but yeah, I've got tons of stuff that I do for the members, and same with Steve. Steve does the same thing. He does member lives, so he does a lot. So I guess let me refresh Twitter one last time. Press conference tomorrow. I don't think we have a time yet. The abductor was 46-year-old Craig Ross Jr. Knows the family somehow, has close ties to the family. Dropped off a ransom note. He left his fingerprints on it. That's how it led to them finding him. His identity anyway, and then from there they were able to narrow down that he had a couple places that he lived at, and from there they were able to find Charlotte at a trailer that was located off Barrett Road right here, which is about 18 miles from where the state park was at. So what a great ending. Especially after being a couple of days like this, just like you talked about. How many hours would you say again? I'm sorry.
I think it's somewhere between 40 and 48 hours, I believe, isn't it?
No. Yeah, how long she's been missing, but no, the statistic you said something about
yes. Used to be that 80-something% of the victims that if after 3 to 4 hours, that the likelihood of a recovery such as this is very rare, because most of them are victims of a homicide within the first 3 to 4 hours of becoming missing. And we're very fortunate that this is not the case.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's really anything else at this time. Oh, see, they got Barrett Road. They're posting that Barrett Road. They actually have a pin there. Let's see. I know where that is. Let's see. So it's right where the river is. It's right where I don't think this is the exact spot, because this is where, if you just type in Barrett Road, that may not be the exact spot. What is going on? I don't know why it won't show me Street View. Anyway, that's okay. We've seen it. Yeah, we'll look for the presser. Depending on what time it is, I may go live for that. But if not, we will do like an update video on that. But you go live tomorrow, right, Steve?
Yes, tomorrow evening I do.
8
o'clock is our normal show time on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. Awesome. So that's when his next thing is. I usually go Monday, Wednesday, Friday for those that are new to the channel. I may be picking up an extra day. Not sure what day that is yet. I may be picking up one of the weekend days. And then this Sunday, we're going to have a members live show as well. But with that, thank you guys. Sharon says, thank you, Steve. A lot of thank yous. Thank you to the mods. You do a wonderful job. And Mr. Steve is the best CEO ever. No complaints here. All right. I think we'll end it there. Let's make sure I didn't miss anything. So,
Well,
anywho,
thank you for having me. You can throw me backstage. And
yeah.
I've
I've got some things to talk to you about for sure. So, we will be back on Wednesday, and maybe at the presser, depending on what time, I may do it if it's kind of midday, or I don't know. We'll see. I might. I don't want to promise anything, but with that, I love you guys. Be safe, and we will see you guys very soon.